Hello and welcome back to Cynthia's Conversation. Today's topic, it's a viewer request. It's a letter from a lady, it's an email actually, from a lady who says she didn't specify how long she was married, but she says she was married with 3 kids. On having her 3rd kid, she found out that the man had another child outside, so that means she was pregnant and somebody else was pregnant for the man outside. So when she found out, the marriage ended and it's been 3 years and she hasn't been able to move on, and she needs our advice and opinion on how she can go past the betrayal. She's gone back to uni and have a degree, but she cannot forgive the man or move on to dating. So on my left hand, I have my beautiful Yvonne. On my right hand, I have Amaka. So ladies, this is one of those life people experience that you just sit there and say, wow, get what I mean? So what she's saying basically is that it's been over 3 years now. She has gone back to reinvent herself, to improve herself, but she cannot go past the betrayal to start going to the dating life. So how do you think she's going to go past this one? Yvonne, I'll come to you first.
Because I think she needs help, but it's easier said than done. If I don't know where she is, if it was a place here, I would have said go and talk to somebody, you know, maybe get it out of your system. You know, some people go for therapy for things like this, you know. Not saying that therapy is the answer, but that would probably be the first thing, because I mean, good on you, she's actually taking the steps to move on with her life. She's actually done that because she's gone back to school, you know, she got her degree and all that. And I just have a feeling that what happened is probably once it happened, she just threw herself into school and so she didn't give herself the time to come to terms or even like grieve the loss of that relationship. She just exchanged it with the degree and all that, you know, like, again, you know how people, you don't get over, you plunge into work and you start doing well at work and everything, but the elephant in the room hasn't been sorted. So she could have done her degree, got all the PhD in the world and everything. She hasn't actually sat down to talk about it and find a way to move on.
Yeah.
So I think this is exactly what has happened here. So she probably needs to talk about it to somebody who would guide her on what to do. Because to be honest, 3 years, you've not moved on. You haven't actually dealt with the issue itself. She just replaced it with other things in her life.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, and until she does that, then she will be open to, because what is even going to happen now is, if you even say, let her even date some, even okay, just imagine that she meets somebody tomorrow now. If, as she has not dealt with it, she's going to transfer those issues she had over to the new person.
Yeah.
And will be treating or the same expectation. For example, now trust is going to be so hard for her.
Yeah.
So if there's a new person that is there to give her all, her issues will not even allow her to see what's in front of her.
Yeah.
You understand me? So I don't even think it's even an issue of, even if you even get a guy tomorrow, that problem is still there.
Okay.
So that's my take on it.
Amaka.
I don't know where to start. What I keep picking out of this sentence is, in 3 years she hasn't made in 3 years she hasn't been able to move on. My own problem is, why does she think she'll move on in 3 years? You said she hasn't dealt with it. I totally agree with you. She hasn't dealt with it. She probably, like you said, threw herself into her work.
Yeah.
Secondly, another thing is, so just because, that's what I want to ask, is it just because of the betrayal that they broke up? Because you can't wake up one morning and find out that your husband, you know, maybe there was something that had gone wrong before. What made him cheat? Because people, for him to have gone outside, she wants to tell, you know, probably to have gone outside, maybe there was already an underlying problem. So is it just because he had another child outside that she left? That's one thing I don't get. And if that's the case, then, like you said, she probably never trust anybody. You would probably never ever fully trust anybody again.
Okay,
And then,
that's another
and yeah, no, she'll probably never truly trust another. And another thing, she hasn't moved on. She still has feelings for the guy, which is unfortunate. Well, she will have feelings for the guy. And another thing that you brought up, she needs to grieve. She needs to actually give her time to grieve. You go through stages, because I've been there. Same thing happened with me after I was pregnant for my third child and found out I had another child outside. It didn't break the marriage. But you see, even when we broke up, that wasn't what broke the marriage. But even when we broke up, you have to go through that grieving. You will grieve. It can take you 1 year, 2 years. You will grieve. Then you get angry. You have to let yourself
Go through
the emotions. It's not. There's no hard and fast rule that within 3 years you'll get over it. There's no hard and so stop giving yourself that time. In 3 years, I think I should have moved on. Not necessarily. People have. Do you understand? She needs to
take 10 years.
Just take it one day at a time, and you will get there.
Lady.
I've got to laugh first before she starts talking.
Auntie. I tell you what, there is a say that said the car kills every day, but we still drive.
Finish.
The ship, once in a while, it gets sunk and capsized and people die. In the next 2 hours, people are still booking to go on the cruise. Aeroplane don't fall often, but it does. People go and people still ride. The problem you're going to have is this. You're going to think every man is like your ex. That's not true. 55% chances you might be right. But the other 45% you might be wrong. So you will, if you are lucky enough to have someone in the 45%, you are right. But I tell you what, this has nothing to do with whether she's not ready or not. People deal with betrayal differently.
That's exactly what I said.
Like I said all the time, we might go through the same road and have two completely experience. I can have that betrayal and it take me 6 months to say, after all, it wasn't even worth it. And somebody might take
10 years.
10, 15, 20 years, or ever, you will never be able to trust anybody.
Exactly.
But the fact that you have put yourself in that gear to go back and have a degree for you to better your life, you have already started the right foot.
Exactly.
You understand? If you want to go back to a dating scene, you can, if you think you are mentally ready. But the thing is, if you haven't dealt with the baggage from your previous relationship or your previous betrayal, there is no way you're going to have a stable relationship, because you're going to keep referring to whatever your new relationship person does to you to the old one you have. So with that reason, you will have to first of all go through this process of you have to first of all go through this process of how don't blame yourself, because this has nothing to do with you as a person. This is him. Whatever the reason, whether you people were having understanding before, or you were having problem in your marriage, some women will say, as long as you go outside, I don't mind, but if there's any child that comes out of it, I'm done. You get what I mean? I can't. Some women will put up with that. Some women will not put up with that. So don't beat yourself over that. The issue of whether you want to dig back to the scene again, take your time. You are wiser now. You know what signs to look for. You know when someone tells you bullshit. Let your kids, don't transfer the hatred from the man to the kids. Be a better person. Be a role model to your children. But whether you go through the process in 5 years or 10 years, it's up to you. We can't tell you how long it's going to take you to grieve, or how long it's going to take you to go past the pain. But one thing is for sure, if you want to date, and like I said, date with your eye open. Because Ishan people say the stone you see coming. They blind you.
She can do parable.
I do. That's my grandmother used to say. So the stone that you see coming will not blind you. So because of that reason, you have to be more careful who you go out with, who you date, and then look for those little pieces of sign to tell you this is not the right person or the right person. But you know, that's my opinion.
And so open date, like you've said it all. The same thing I say, you know, don't give yourself a time limit. Don't give yourself a time limit.
I'll add one thing here. I think while you're still taking your time, I think use that period to learn to love yourself more. Because I think when you've got that self-love, self-satisfaction, and you know, when you now move into the date, when you now move to date someone, you have already fulfilled yourself. That nobody, like anybody you're going to meet now, has to add extra value to what you already have. You know, put yourself in a situation where you're self-sufficient, because at the end of the day, who is to say that you cannot love yourself and live your life on your own? And like loving yourself, there's nothing wrong in it. You mustn't always have to be with someone. However, when you do, it has to be on your terms, fully ready, and like they say, with your eyes open, mentally and physically, you're ready.
And emotionally.
There's one thing you said, which I totally agree. You don't necessarily have to be with someone.
You don't have to be with someone.
You don't necessarily have to date again.
And do what you want to do.
My dear.
You know? So,
date.
No. If you don't...
Even if you are in your 60s,
We're not saying
no. Capital N-O. Sweetheart. If you want to date.
We're not saying she should.
No, there are people that think that after 3 children there are men for every
woman. Of course now. No, we're not saying that.
You just need to find it. My dear, when you are ready to date, wear those high heels and look hot as ever. Be this sexy mama, but my
don't
dear,
settle for less.
Do not bring your value down to meet somebody's expectation.
That's why we said what we said.
That's what I'm saying.
No, we're not saying she shouldn't date. What we're saying that she should give herself time to get herself, you know, to that level where she is okay with herself. That's what I meant by that. You know, because sometimes in your desperation to date, you're actually having a rebound, not that you're dating.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I said what I said. So when you're ready to date, you are self-fulfilled and you will date. And it will make sense to you. Don't rush because you need to. And that's why I made that comment. You don't have to be with someone until you know, like you've fulfilled yourself, you've loved yourself. Then you can now move on.
And the person has to be worth it.
The person has to be worth it.
What's that?
Know? But fair play to you. You've started the process, but I think just give yourself time. Don't put a timeline.
Exactly.
I agree with
there
what
are
you say.
some honking guys out there.
God.
And if there is anyone you fancy, sweethearts,
I go back to the relationship. Enjoy.
Can I say something? Don't judge a book by your cover. After all, one of you gave us a picture to choose a big bellied. It was you. A big bellied man with a hunk of a man.
I ain't gonna
choose. The honky one was broke and the
billionaire
was billionaire. And they say choose. So which one will you choose?
That billionaire, at least with that money, it
you can go and do the life.
Did you know what I have come to realize?
What?
That those who have a job and have business have no time to go and sit in the gym and be sister.
Exactly. Now.
Before
you'll be looking at 6-pack.
I have had my fine.
I have had my
fine.
My dear sister.
Uncle bros. Auntie. Now, somebody that is busy making money will not have time to go and carry 17 liter.
And look at all those nurses at the gym. It's up there.
Anyone that spend more than 2 fucking hours in the gym, you don't get job.
You don't get work.
Because person will get job, but person will they run business. You don't get time to go spend 3.5 hours every single day, 5 times a week.
My dear sister, I beg you.
Leave matter for matter.
I put it there. Somebody was saying that God forbid, don't I say that they would rather be broke. I said you're mad.
Exactly.
The man with that billions who built gym for me and him in that
exactly
in the house.
In
it. You have your own gym in the E.
And then by the time he's fit, you say, see this woman. She know when me finish this woman stayed with me when I was all over now. What's that?
You're going too far with the gym. I'll carry the money and go and lipo, suck the whole fat out.
My dear.
Exactly.
I help myself as well.
I help myself.
And I
as
don't
well.
do some.
Deep and talk.
No, sir. The me and him.
Your selling point.
Selling point.
Identify your selling point.
Me, I'll follow that problem. And they're usually very kind people.
That's it.
So you spend half the time.
Somebody said to me,
What was that?
online, he said, let's apologize to the heart, homely, family-oriented man. When they were cheating us, we decided to follow this one that will make us a baby mamas. I miss the one that was supposed to wife us.
My dear.
Nah, eh? Fine boy don't find rich. If you find you not get money, join them. Or
Get it. Now this your time.
Don't finish. Fine boy, 6 pack cost is panning. Who 6 pack?
Will you put food on the table? Then my friend now said that I got like 4 food hunger. Okay, some guy will kill you there. 6 pack will buy me food. The end billionaire was that. Like you said, the man is working damn hard.
No, after that I have married the pot belly with millionaire. Then I can have a entanglement with 6 pack.
The man that's cleaning our swimming pool, like an entanglement and
you know, usually it's the gardener.
No, the swimming pool man now. That's why you go wear swimming shorts where they clean swimming pool.
You know, all those
digress.
I mean, for some reason in the movie, all the guys that are caught garden, they are really very
exactly.
you know,
So they are poor now.
they just honk.
Poor people now because they don't
And
have
then
money.
when you finish cutting my grass, you go cut me join her.
Cut another grass, go another law somewhere. Go well. Let's go.
That's hilarious. Anyway, back to our topic.
No, enjoy being yourself. Just enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. You know?
I would say, take your time, go through the process, and then when you think you're mentally and physically ready to date, open your eyes, be smart about it, and then go for it. Just go for it and just have fun while you don't settle for less. Don't limit your expectation and don't put a mileage on where you can go, because sometimes we women, we used to say, I'm looking for somebody with 300 miles. Maybe your soulmate is 300 miles away. With communication, everything is possible. Technology have make it easy. You can be here and date someone, only go nowhere, and you people will be you know those kind of talk where they talk for now off the phone now.
No, you drop. I drop. No, you drop.
No, on count of 3.
A count of 3. 1,
No, no,
2,
well.
Are you still there?
I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't mind that.
So my darling sister, thanks for your email, and I hope we are able to touch 1 or 2 things. We might not be able to solve everybody's problem or even take our advice, but at least we'll be able to have a talk about it and then share our own opinion about it and our life experience, because
You're not alone.
You are not alone.
You're not alone.
Millions of women going through the same process.
But you'll be fine.
So, but
You'll
time
be fine.
will be fine. Like I always said, time is a healer.
Yep.
As the time goes on, those things, those pain will fade away and
It will.
be yourself again. Alright?
Yes.
Until next time,
Stay safe.
stay safe and stay
Alert.
alert. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.